Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio. And for today's Monday Mini, we are going to timestamp it. It is July 16th, 2025, as we record this. And it's coming out like a week later. So many things can happen in a week, as we all know. And we are getting to the end of Disability Pride Month. So I thought we would just run through some issues that are happening right now, but all of them deserve more attention and full episodes. So this is just a bare basics rundown. But yeah, so the theme of this Disability Pride Month was We Belong Here and We're Here to Stay. And yeah, there's just a lot of, unfortunately, concerning things that we need to talk about right now, including things like cuts to Medicaid and Social Security, which we've mentioned in recent episodes, especially when we're talking about marriage equality within the disability community. And Social Security is a whole thorny issue. But essentially, as of April 2025, about 11 million people with disabilities were on Social Security. But with rollbacks, a lot of people are losing it. There have been issues of long wait times and delays, and it's just getting worse. I mean, doesn't help that a lot of the staff is getting cut. So that's exacerbating things. Mm-hmm. And then this is not unique to the disability community at all, but there has been a really marked increase in scams, Social Security scams, Medicaid scams. And when that happens, it can be devastating. You can really lose so much money. So that's something that we've got to look out for. Also, when it comes to disability and education, the proposed dismantling of the Department of Education could undo a lot of the strides we've made when it comes to disability and education. Here's a quote from an op-ed by Katie Reese. In 1971, before federal protections for people with disabilities existed, states were free to exclude children with disabilities from their public schools, and many did. Millions of children were denied an education, not because they couldn't learn, but because our society didn't believe they were worth educating. That changed because of federal action. Parents, led by my organization, the ARC, fought in court and won. Their victory laid the foundation for the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, securing the right to a free, appropriate public education for students with disabilities, regardless of the nature or severity of their disability. And yeah, we could come back and talk about that too, because that all hasn't always been smooth sailing, but it was like a huge step. Mm-hmm. And now they're talking about rolling it back. Speaking of rolling things back, the return of the R word, which several people after Trump was elected again, several high-profile people made statements about, I can say this again. So thanks, trash administration. And also, why? Why was that your statement that you made?
Why are you excited about this phrase? Like, there's no reason. There's no reason. And it's so... There's been a whole conversation about like words people did not realize was offensive. And we've talked about these before, but including this one. And then the slur for a Chinese person or an Asian descent was a big topic because of a contestant on Love Island. I've never watched this show. Not going to lie. I have no interest, but TikTok keeps thinking this is my thing. So they keep showing me clips. But obviously when it comes to like slurs and the Asian descent, that is something that I am interested in and wondering. And so many people talking about how it's not that big of a deal. A lot of people say they never knew that this was a slur. And I'm like, how? Because people from my area, LJ, Georgia, which knew 4 Asian people, the entirety, and that included the like Chinese restaurant, knew that was a slur. Knew it then because they would say it to me as a slur. Like they would call me that as a slur. To make fun of me or being mean to me. So they obviously knew this was a slur. So I'm very, very confused by the people who are telling me that they didn't understand that. But the level of like need to say these words is an odd thing to me. And I'm not going to lie. As a kid, I also said the R word, not realizing how offensive it was. I did things I did not realize what they were equated to as a child. But the minute someone corrected me, I was like, oh, ooh, okay, got you. Yeah. And like, it hurts my heart to hear this. And again, so in my mind, the R word is even worse. Like if there's a level, and I know there's not, but there's a scale of like more offensive. This is the more offensive as an Asian person for me to say that. So to think of like, I've been waiting for so long to say this word. What?
Yeah.
You're putting down people with disabilities that have nothing to do with you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, it just does not compute as the need to say it.
No, it doesn't. And to go back to your point, they know it's wrong because it was largely replaced in 2010 in federal documentation, which is still pretty late, but it was replaced because we all recognized, yeah, we shouldn't do this.
Right. Like it has grown into, oh, there's better ways to put this. And there's an actuality of conversation. Oh, the community that this word degrades is saying, I don't like this. Please stop this. We should listen.
We should. Not that any of the people we're talking about would ever, but you should, if you haven't heard our recent book club, Demystifying Disability, the author does a great job of breaking down terminology and like, don't say this one.
Yeah.
Here's some ways to do it.
Her book is really, I've thought about, obviously, like I said, we've talked about this before. I've stopped using that in my vocabulary for years, like 20 years, because everybody was like, this is bad. I was like, okay, noted. But like just thinking about my past where it was, I thought, acceptable, where it did not equate to this in my mind. I was like, oh, I can see, but I see why. In the same way we're talking about when we say the words dumb or stupid or low functioning. Like low functioning and high functioning is newer to me because I was in that field for so long, the mental health field when it comes to juveniles, that those words were technically correct at the time that I was working there. Seeing where it is now, I have to reevaluate. And even though I'm not in that industry anymore, I'm like, okay, I've now heard this is not the preferred term. Got you. I got moving on, learning new things. That's all. We should all be learning every day anyway.
Yes, we should. But instead, a lot of people in this administration, especially, are rolling us back. They're trying to roll us back.
I don't understand. There's plenty of options of other words. There's so many great creative options.
Yes, there are. And also, just again, why?
Oh, right. It's the same thing when I think of like racist quips. And I'm like, there's so many other things that could be said that's even better. Or sexist, you know.
Yeah. Be creative.
Just be better.
Just be better.
You know, hat. Still one of my favorites. Keep going.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But going back to the theme, we are seeing these unfortunate things, but as we say in so many episodes, there are amazing organizations fighting, and the slogan of the month being "We belong here and we're here to stay" is absolutely true. As we discussed in that book club episode, the disability community is the largest marginalized community in the world. And sort of what you were speaking to, Samantha, there, I did find some tips. We discussed a lot of them in our book club about staying informed, essentially, keeping yourself educated, and actually talking to disabled people in a respectful way if you don't have someone in your life. As mentioned, a lot of people, they might have a disability that you can't see or you might just not know about. And they don't have to disclose that to you, but having those open, respectful conversations and being genuine about your effort to learn more about disability all year round, just like everything we talk about. And getting that from good sources, supporting people who are actually working and making these differences and listening to them. So yeah, happy Disability Pride.
Happy Disability Pride.
Yes. And please write in, let us know if you have any requests for anything in here that we should really, really come back and talk about. Or if you have any advice or tips you'd like to share during this time, you can email us at hello@stuffinevertoldyou.com. You can also find us on Blue Sky at Milestone Podcast or on Instagram and TikTok at Stuff I Never Told You. We're also on YouTube, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks, as always, to our super producer, Christina, our executive producer, Maya, and our contributor, Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production by iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.